Welcome to the commencement ceremony for the Gettysburg Area High School's class of 2024. If you are able, please join me and my classmates in standing for the national anthem, performed by Tristan Smith. And please remain standing for the singing of our school's alma mater, sung by senior members of our high school choir. Our colors are presented by our high school's JROTC Warrior Battalion.
Oh, Gettysburg, maroon and white, all hail to you. We pledge to thee our loyalty, our alma mater true. As school days end and years go by, we'll fond and faithful be. Oh, Gettysburg, maroon and white, all honor be to thee.
I vividly remember my first assignment ever in school. Oh, you may be seated. I vividly remember my first assignment ever in school. It was Wednesday, August 31st, 2011. I was in Miss Purdy's class in James Geddes. The assignment? Write your name. Looking back at my most recent assignments 13 years later, it is crazy to think back to a time where the biggest thing was writing our name. It's also crazy to me to think that somehow my handwriting has gotten even worse. 13 long years later, regardless of where we started, we sit here eagerly awaiting to complete our final assignment. Walk across the stage, shake hands, receive our diploma, and become a graduate of Gettysburg Area High School. In those 13 years, we have created inseparable bonds and memories that we will tell our grandchildren. There truly is no other group of people that I would rather go through the stage of my life with. Now we all prepare to move on to the next part of our life, a part that will hopefully include being able to eat lunch without being viciously attacked by a flying projectile. It remains clear that over these 13 years, we have been well prepared for whatever life brings us, but we could not have made it here alone. We supported each other, both in the classroom and in our personal lives. Our amazing teachers were there for us the entire time, ensuring that we put the effort in required to be a successful student, as well as teaching us values, ensuring us that we become an even better person. And lastly, all of you here watching today, the biggest moment of our young lives, whether you are at home or here in person. Regardless of your role in our life, if you are here today, you played a significant part in us walking across the stage in a few short moments. You made sure that we woke up in the morning, completed our assignments, gave us rides all over the place, and made it your personal mission to make sure that we walk across this stage today. So with that being said, I would like to personally thank you all for your unwavering support over these past 13 years and formally welcome you all to Gettysburg Area High School's Class of 2024 commencement ceremony. It is now my pleasure and honor to introduce our Student Committee's Choice Speaker from the Class of 2024, Craig C.J. Lair.
I'd like to start by thanking my mom because I love her, but more importantly, because she told me that I have to. Another big thanks to my dad, grandma, and the selfless teachers who guided us for the past 4 years. And a huge congratulations to the graduating class of 2024. When I began my educational journey in kindergarten, I was pretty sure that I would settle down in my adult life as a wizard. Maybe do some magical research, teach potions, or spend a few years training some dragons. Eventually, I realized that my magical aspirations were a little beyond my abilities. So I landed on something a lot more realistic, a martial arts trained spy. For a while, I put a lot of effort into my karate lessons, but when I watched an episode of Project Runway, I realized I had it all wrong. I was going to be a world-famous fashion designer. This past week, I received a letter from my 5th grade self, who confidently wrote, "At this point, I'm sure you got a scholarship from the Fashion Institute of Technology, and you're probably at least 6'2". Not only am I going to college in a city my 10-year-old self didn't know existed to study something much less glamorous than fashion, but I'm barely 6 foot on a good day. Things have changed quite a bit from elementary school, but they've also changed significantly just in the past 4 years. By the time we take our first high school classes, we've each already built a unique identity, a culmination of different interests, hobbies, and aspirations. And when we begin high school, we set pretty specific expectations for what we expect in and out of the classroom. It feels like you must begin to plan out the rest of your life. And believe me, I tried. However, high school teaches us to embrace the randomness that life brings, to allow our curiosity to lead us. Opportunities arise in the most unexpected places without any notice. And if we only focus on the future and what we expect of it, we may miss the chance to discover something new and maybe something better. As we embark on our post-grad journeys, it is again tempting to plan out our entire future. Every class we'll take, every job we'll have, every milestone we'll reach. But it is impossible to contain our futures to a singular plan of action, no matter how intricate or organized it is. Think back to what you expected of yourself as a kindergartner, as a 6th grader, and even as a freshman. We're probably living very different realities than our former selves anticipated. Interests evolve, priorities shift, and some of us have to face the fact that we don't have magical powers. And not only have we changed, but so has the world around us. Just 10 years ago, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge was new. Frozen hadn't even reached theaters, and Facebook was still cool. Change is inevitable, and moving our tassels won't change that. Our process of self-discovery does not end when we graduate high school. In fact, many of the adults here would argue we have only just begun. And to people like me, who write to-do lists months ahead of time and write down step-by-step plans to achieve very specific goals, that open-endedness feels frightening. But our time and efforts during these past 4 years have encouraged us to be opportunistic and resilient, because we're surrounded by opportunity every day. Our classes, athletic programs, and of course, a principal who's a local dance legend. A few weeks ago, I made a spreadsheet to plan out every class I'm going to take next year, including the class description, a ranking of 1 to 100 on how interested I am in taking the class, and a separate ranking for how likely I was to land a spot. I sorted my spreadsheet numerically so it could make the choices for me come this fall. When I began writing this speech, I realized that my spreadsheet is a bit hypocritical. I restricted my future experiences to a literal mathematical algorithm. My organizational tendencies are rather extreme, and hopefully most of you aren't as crazy as I am regarding our future plans, but we all have ways of trying to control the uncontrollable, when it might ultimately be beneficial to relax and seek out experiences as they appear organically. There is a lot ahead of us, whether it's military service, further education, or experience in the workforce, and not one of our paths is definite. But I know that if we embrace the unknown, if we can find comfort and excitement in the uncertainty, we will succeed. If we survived Visco Girls, The Renegade, 2 years of remote learning, and listening to the same stories every week in safety ed, we can endure almost anything. Our past experiences will stay in our back pocket, and more importantly, our curiosity can lead us to new horizons. We should all take inspiration from our younger selves, the ambitious go-getters who fearlessly went after our interests, who weren't scared to try something new and unfamiliar. Because that ambition, those spontaneous activities and hobbies, are why we are who we are today. Well-rounded, adaptive, and eager graduates. Unfortunately, I don't think I will ever amount to the magical or even 6'2" individual my past self anticipated. But there is something magical about our path forward. One of self-determination, challenge, failure, recovery, and learning. So I'm not telling you to abandon your goals. Don't worry, parents, I wouldn't advise that. But I challenge us to stay curious and to embrace our spontaneity. We can't restrict ourselves to static expectations in a constantly changing world. We have to appreciate the journey, replace worry with motivation, seek out adventure, and remind ourselves of all that we are capable. Thank you all for an amazing 4 years, and I'm excited to see what we all accomplish.
I would now like to introduce the class of 2024 valedictorian, Rebecca Reaver.
Good evening, all, and thank you for coming. Before I begin, I'd like to show my gratitude to some of the most important individuals in my high school career. There are so many amazing people at Gettysburg Area High School and beyond who have changed my life for the better. And in truth, every one of them deserves a speech of their own. Even so, I'll try to keep it brief. I think I just heard everyone who knows me roll their eyes. First and foremost, thank you to the stellar administrators, teachers, coaches, cooks, and custodial staff who made being here every day worth it. Our school could not function without you, and neither could we. Special shout-outs to Mr. Godak, Mr. Sontheimer, Ms. Ridinger, Mr. Armour, Mrs. Dreves, and Ms. Tosh, who are not only phenomenal at their jobs, but dedicate an astonishing amount of time and effort to helping every one of those students succeed. Thank you to the families who supported us throughout our teenage years and made sure we were all able to stand here today. There really are no words that could express the gratitude you deserve. And to my own family, I owe you everything, and I love you more than anything. All the best parts of me came from you, and I will spend the rest of my life trying to honor those gifts. Thank you to the friends who got involved in all kinds of craziness with us and gave us 4 years' worth of happy memories to look back on. Thank you especially to the cast and crew of our fall plays, who will always be my second family. And finally, thank you to Vlad, who was always there for me when times got rough. At this speech's inception, I spent a dismaying amount of time wondering what high school was about. I thought the purpose of a graduation address was to validate everything we've been through in the past 4 years, to prove the value of high school by consolidating our experiences into some all-encompassing lesson. I wanted to preach wisdom or morality or responsibility. I wanted a message that would resonate with every one of my peers forever. I wanted to write the perfect valedictorian speech. It took me 3 hopelessly boring drafts to figure out that speech doesn't exist, and it probably never will. No lesson I could present will resonate with everyone here. No 20-minute eulogy would capture the importance of this day, the coalescence of rigorous trials, exhilarating triumphs, and all the totally normal days in between that brought us to this stadium. High school can't be summed up in a neatly organized essay. For some people, high school was more like a fantasy novel. For others, it was a textbook chapter, and for others still, it was science fiction. Each of us discovered hundreds of complicated truths during high school, all unique and all worthy of celebration. We will remember it, define it in our own individual ways. And that is why, for my 4th and final draft, instead of a thesis or a sermon, I found myself typing a prose poem. High school was a lot more than blood, sweat, and tears. It was more than 4 years, not longer, but more. It couldn't be contained in 2 words. It was space and time and stress and satisfaction shelved away in the folds of my brain. All I have to do is think high school, and the film flashes into focus, clipped memories clicking into a conglomeration of shuttered animations. There was a friend, a small, precious keepsake. There was a dream, then another, then another. There was a corner where we'd meet every morning to chatter until the late bell. There was brazen laughter that turned heads in the hallway. There was the quotidian route to class we could walk with our eyes closed, even now. There were pages of chicken scratch notes that hurt our wrists to write. There were lines of code scrolling down the compact Chromebook keyboard. There were exhausted mornings spent with heads down on desks. There were mornings where we didn't have desks at all, where we slumped on the couch alone to click through Canvas slideshows. There was comfort and patience and kindness. There were lessons we've already used more times than we know, and advice we didn't have the sense to take. There were bitter breakups and loves that will last until we're older than we ever thought we would get. There was the conviction and the reassurance that we'd never be alone, and the teeming fear of loneliness all the same. There were parties, plays, opportune passes, and the winning goals that followed. There was music and essays and lunch periods spent gossiping. There were moments we regret, and there were moments that were better than perfect. There were people we wish were here, who will, in their own way, be with us forever. There were people who said it would be the best time of our lives. And maybe it has been, but there's so much more to come. There's more than blood, sweat, and tears. There's more than 4 years to shelve away or reminisce on or make up for. There's more than any one of us alone. There's a class that will be farmers, engineers, waitresses, lawmakers, authors, architects, teachers. We will run and play and laugh. We will make music, poems, mistakes, goals, promises. We will be friends, colleagues, parents, pet owners, partners, and somehow we will be adults. We will be anything and everything we could dream up. And I hope with all my soul, with all the memories and lessons and loves of high school, that we'll be happy. Thank you.
Those words were incredible. That's why they spoke. Good evening. I'm Jeremy Lusk. Each year since the 2017-2018 school year, the year I became the head principal of the Gettysburg Area High School, the month of May brings with it many reflective thoughts. As I drive in the car to and from work, and at many other random times, throughout each day, I naturally start thinking about what I want to share with our graduating seniors. There's no way to share everything I want to say, so I had to choose just a couple key points. Traditionally, I work to infuse a little optimism with words gifted to me and others in attendance at commencement 6 years ago. Catherine Wagner shared, "It was a sunny day." I agree. Be an optimist. I truly believe the people of this world are inherently good. If they fall short of that, it's partly your job to support them and to bring out the good. We are thankful to be surrounded by supporters here this evening, school and district administrators, board members, educators, and your guests, which would include your parents and other loved ones. They have collectively worked to bring out the best in you. At this time, I'd love to have our alumni around the stadium. Please stand. Go ahead. Round of applause for them. And as you can see, there's lots of them. Thank you for being part of our proud Warrior tradition, and thank you for supporting what is surely the best investment a community can make. The evidence for that is before us. Specifically, I'd like to thank Mrs. Kaywood and Mr. Rupp, our entire high school faculty, and every member of our support staff. Over the past 4 years, you have worked as a team to provide and support the multitude of opportunities that have molded these graduates into the warriors they are today. Before I offer a few reflections, I'll provide a brief explanation of the medallions that we award to our Scholastic Honor Group, identified on the center panel of your program. The laude designation is Latin and means honor. Cum laude means with honor, and reserved at Gettysburg for those who graduate in the top 10% of their class. Magna cum laude means with high honor and is for the graduates who finish in the top 5%. And finally, you'll see 5 of our students graduating summa cum laude with highest honor. These students have finished in the top 2% of the class. And along with their diplomas, these students will receive medals for their accomplishments. They've earned it, and they deserve it. You may notice there are 24 students sitting in the first row. There's 24 students behind them in each of the rows. Leading the class of 2024 across the stage this evening. It's a class of graduates all deserving of high praise for their unique offerings to our school community. You'll notice that many of these students are decorated with stoles, cords, medals, pins, earned by being here, being committed, being involved, sometimes being kind. They've thrived and they've struggled. And more often than not, they've overcome the obstacles and challenges before them to be on this field tonight. They've had both tragedies and triumphs together, not only through the past 4 years, but in the years before. And it's important to remember the good and the not so good parts of that story, and the people who have been part of that story, both present and past. Tonight we celebrate these graduates, their many accomplishments, and their demonstrated growth. A journey of learning and relationships. This is a journey that doesn't stop after they cross the stage tonight. So in those many month of May moments of reflection, I continually came back to 2 words that would serve as focal points of my offering to the class of 24. Service and sacrifice. As you move forward in life, I challenge you to serve. Serve yourself well. Be mindful of health and continue to enrich your minds. and fuel your inherently good spirits as you pursue, your individual goals and aspirations. Serve your family. Be committed to them, as they matter most. This week, I've been reminded of that one quite often. Serve your community. Be willing to work for the greater good and wellness of all those around you. Be willing to sacrifice for the right reasons, for the right purpose. Having said that, I'd like to ask all of you around Warrior Stadium who serve or have served in our nation's armed services to please stand. Thank you for your sacrifices. It's why we can be here on an evening like this, doing this. Appreciate it. Some definitions of sacrifice include explanations of suffering loss or giving something up. Well, that can certainly be true. I'd invite you to view sacrifice a little differently. Willful offerings. Every choice you make in life will have opportunity cost. When you make those choices for reasons that align with your values and your goals, your time and energy are not sacrificed, but willfully and intentionally offered. What's given up or lost is overpowered by what is gained. As you work to serve yourself and those you care for, focus on the gains over the losses. As I have traditionally done for many years since I've been doing this, I'll leave you with something simple, class of 24, that I wrote. It's an acrostic. Each line starts with the letters Warriors. It includes just 24 words. It's titled 24 Warriors. Willingness to serve, anchored by purpose, responsive to needs, respectful to all, influence and impact, ongoing each hour, resolve to do good, staying humble. Dr. Perrin, I only have 2 more words for the class of 2024. As I present them to you, go Warriors.
Rebecca Park Reaver, summa cum laude. Winter Storm Oster, summa cum laude. Lily Ann Winkleman, summa cum laude. Craig William Lair, summa cum laude. Abigail Elizabeth Williams, summa cum laude. Isabel Robin Gaydon, magna cum laude. Ariana Marissa Mekovich, magna cum laude. Ariana Urcuyo, magna cum laude. Jacob Michael Dickerson, magna cum laude. Presenting his diploma is school board member Michael Dickerson. Grace Elizabeth Stone, magna cum laude. Ian Todd McLean, magna cum laude. Jillian Grace Uslin, magna cum laude. Grace Elizabeth Adair, cum laude. Sophie Ann May, cum laude. Presenting her diploma is Laura May, mother and middle school administrative assistant. Leonard Bennett Morse, cum laude. John Peyton Closter, cum laude. Alexander Edmund Teeter Jones, cum laude. Presenting his diploma is Carrie Teeter, mother and middle school teacher. Mackenzie Lynn Seacrest, cum laude. Presenting her diploma is Julie Seacrest, mother and teacher at James Geddes. Ellen Elizabeth Cadigan, cum laude. Summer Marie Johnson, cum laude. Carmen Marianne Ocean Renati, cum laude. Gavin Patrick Cole, cum laude. Gabriel Joseph Picatus, cum laude. Presenting his diploma are Michelle Picatus, mother and teacher at James Geddes, and Joseph Picatus, father and high school teacher. Landon Joseph Felix, cum laude. Sorry. Corinne Riley Applenalp. Kirsten Renee Applenalp. Finley Marie Allison. Antonio Almanza Alvarado. Enrique Julian Ambrose. Alana Kiri Ameth. Kamari Amin Anderson. Haley Catherine Armour. Presenting her diploma is David Armour, father and high school teacher. Estefani Arendando. Aline Michelle Areola Mateos. Zachary James Amon. Andrea Marie Bear. Constance Elizabeth Barnich. Francisco Martinez Barrera, Jr. Jade Elizabeth Barrick. David James Beamer. Jerome Jaquay Benjamin. Macy May Benage. Nicole Marie Berkey. Max Joseph Bernier. Kayla Ann Black. Presenting her diploma is Adrian Sosnowski, Mother and Middle School Food Service Assistant Manager. Layla May Blake. Mark Daniel Brook. Ethan Jessup Burgess. Jonathan Michael Burton. Isabella Denise Calderon Gomez. Devin Thomas Campbell. Samantha Page Carba. Miles Paul Whitfield Kerrigan. Cameron Elizabeth Carmichael. Isabel Adelaide Carmichael. Emmanuel Carrillo Hernandez. Alexandra Diaz Castaneda. Emma Marie Celentado. Roxana Cervantes Barth. Grace Elizabeth Cherry. Jade Destiny Clemens. Dara Shelby Cluck. Wesley Stephen Coolbaugh. Presenting his diploma is Emily Coolbaugh, mother and middle school secretary. Antonio Corona, Jr. Angelica Cota. Madison Ann Kramer. Ethan Croft. Jaden Anthony Crum. Christian Cruz Chavarria. Mariana Isabella Cuellar. Jacob Edward Cullen. Jared Allen Cullen. Kevin Robert Daly. Jonathan Edward Darnell. Presenting his diploma is Tricia Darnell, mother and district accounting secretary. Jacob Austin Davis. Gabriel Alexander de la Cruz Sponenberg. Arturo Diaz Jr. Dylan Diaz. Lauren Diaz. Marley Grace Dwyer. Kirsten Marie Ecker. Stacy Elizondo. Joshua Allen Fair. Riley Claire Fauntleroy. Trey Javon Felton. Riley Hayden Phil. Aiden Edward Fitzgerald. Jonah Ryan Fleck. Emma Floor. Daniel Joseph Flynn. Kevin L. Foltz III. Aubrey Naomi Ann Forsythe. Kenny Nicole Franklin. Santiago Adrian Funes III. Caitlin Elizabeth Gasly. Jocelyn Michaela Gebhardt. Hunter Edward Gillen. Evangeline Renee Gingrich. Jordan McKay Gladfelter. Helen Gomez Mateos. Jermaine Derek Conway. Caleb Vernell Grimm. Vincent Michael Grippa. Samantha Gross. Rogelio Guillen Hernandez Jr. Nathaniel Augustus Hahn. Braden Eugene Hake. Sky Danielle Hall. Ethan David Harnish. Madeline Rose Hassinger. Presenting her diploma is Dana Hassinger, mother and middle school teacher, and Kenny Hassinger, father and school board president. Margaret Elaine Heaton. Guadalupe Hernandez Aguilar. Juan Hernandez Calderon. Maria Guadalupe Hernandez Neri. Joshua Finn Herr. Sarah Elizabeth Hines. Yahir Hinojoso Rico. Lily Teresa Hodges. Braden Walter Holland. Kanan Holmes. Morgan Taylor Hoover. Cody James Hughes. Anthony Lorenzo Jenkins. Brian Jared Jimenez Monteroso. Vanity Nicole Johnson. Aiden Daniel Jumper. Landon Eric Kiefer. Caitlin Elizabeth Keller. Michaela Elizabeth Keller. Eric Michael Kempa. Jason Scott Kuntz Jr. Alexandros Konstantinos Koufos. John Trenton Kuchtiak. Tegan Michael Coons. Danica Starr Kump. Natalie Elizabeth Kunkel. Presenting her diploma is Ashley Kunkel, mother and Franklin Township teacher. Matthew Jacob Lamastis. Cole Samuel Lambert. Jermaine Tyshawn Lee. Parker Thomas Lee. Andrew Paul Lanker. Blake Matthew Lanker. Austin Michael Leitner. Kaylee Jade Little. Eduardo Lopez Martinez. Paxton Christopher Laura. Samela Lust. Anthony Sargent Maccabee. Joseph Aiden Marin. William Bryant Marsh. Alexis Jordan Matthias. William Thomas Mathis. Aubrey Ray McCloskey. Logan Jax McCormick. Faith Haley McDaniel. Caitlin Grace McDaniel. Aiden Michael McDermott. Creighton Charles McHenrick. Colby M. McMullen. Rosiera Medina Vasquez. J.T. Meyer. Aaron Miller. Presenting his diploma is Darla Miller, Mother and Administrative Building Lead Custodian. Audrey Grace Miller. Hunter Michael Mills. Joshua Brian Mitchell. Sean Moeller. Kylie Marie Monroe. Braden Joshua Morsel. Megan Nicole Musselman. Tobias Matthew Neller. Tommy Kim Nguyen. Emily Lynn Niner. Caden Michael Knoll. Dakota Allen Null. Derek Tanner Null. Hunter Charles Null. James Adrian Odell, Jr. Michaela Nicole O'Malley. Daglin Patrick O'Shea. Presenting his diploma is James O'Shea, Father and Director of Safety and Security. Lucy Grace Page. Gino Mukala Parker. Isabel Marie Parrish. Reed Tyler Payne. Brian Pedregal Contreras. Sol Delise Peralta Cernas. Alexis Juan Perez. Carl Jeff Philistin. Bronx David Piccarelli. Jose Martin Prenar. Kate Ward Pridham. Seth Quickle. Jose Andre Ramirez Martinez. Lucas Everett Ramsberg. Autumn Marie Redmond. Mark Joseph Rhodes, Jr. Reagan Marie Rhodes. Mia Isabella Ricker. Joshua Philip Reif. Zalika Iska Roberts. Jake Daniel Robinson. Casey Patrick Roy. Presenting his diploma is Nicole Roy, mother and James Geddes teacher. Sophia Ann Royer. Gabriela Noel Sanato. Araceli Michaela Salas Kennedy. Joanna Guadalupe Salas Gonzalez. Liam Michael Salmon. Caitlin Paige Sanders. Esmeralda San Juan Miranda. Aiden Allen Sarver. Parker James Schlosser. Gabriel Christopher Schmitz. Zachary William Sense. Riley Nicole Sharp. Marcellus Riley Shetter. Kennedy Page Elizabeth Shull. Brady Tyler Schultz. Zachary Andrew Slabaugh. Presenting his diploma is Andrew Slabaugh, father and teacher at James Geddes. Corinne Ashley Smith. Jared Albert Smith. Tristan Yuma Smith. Bryce Stephen Smyers. Seth Addison Smith. Jonathan Bradley Snyder, Jr. Morgan Alexis Snyder. Michael Thomas Spangler. Brianna Lynn Staples. Annika Bree Stauffer. Jeremy Buddy Stoltz. Jackson Jeffrey Townsend. Gabriel James Trossel. Alex Sebastian Turner. Zuriel Angel Vasquez Vega. Brody Thomas Wagner. Olivia Virginia Wagner. Gracie Mae Pauline Watkins. Gage Lee Wetzel. To his surprise, presenting his diploma will be his mother, Sergeant Christina Rodriguez, Aviation's Operations Specialist. We recognize her service and her sacrifice for our nation, having been deployed twice during Gage's high school years. We are happy she could return from deployment for his graduation. Colin Wilson. Madison Renee Woods. Connor Philip Woodward. Gabriel Austin Wyant. RG Yanez Solis. Addison Grace Yingling. Presenting her diploma is Sherry Yingling, mother and middle school teacher. Matthew Yu. Emmanuel Zatina Gomez. Casey Jade Zirk.
One more round of applause for our graduates, please. At this time, the president of the school board, Kenny Hassinger, will place the academic medallion on the school flag. Will the Gettysburg class of 2024 please rise? In accordance with the standards of the Pennsylvania Department of Education, the policies and regulations of the Board of School Directors, and by the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, it is my honor and pleasure to declare the 138th graduating class of Gettysburg Area High School graduates. You may now move your tassel to the left. Congratulations.
Family and friends of the class of 2024. For the past 4 years, after all the announcements in the Gettysburg High School building Our students have heard Mr. Lusk, Mr. Rupp, and Mrs. Kaywood end with Go Warriors. As the last send-off for the class of 2024, we would like all to rise, if you are able, to salute the class of 2024. On the count of 3, we would like all of you to join with us in a shout out of Go Warriors for all of our grads. 1, 2, 3.